Namaste, namaste, and welcome to our last Friday evening yoga of the summer term. I hope that you've enjoyed this term so far. Tonight, we're going to put together lots of the things that we've been working with into a lovely flowing sequence. And to prepare for that, we're going to start lying down on our backs. So come onto your sofa, onto your yoga mat. Maybe I'm dreaming of the sofa. And lying down on your back, just allowing your spine to find its shape against the floor. Resting your arms away from your body with the palms turned upwards. And resting the feet on the floor so that the pelvis can relax, the knees are supported. If you feel comfortable here, you can close your eyes. And if you prefer, you can just gaze at one point ahead of you. Take a moment just to find your way mentally onto your mat as well as physically. Leave behind the cares of your day, any strains or worries, any conflicts, and allow yourself to step onto your mat, come into your yoga space, and devote the next 90 minutes of your awareness and your energy into this practice. Notice how your body's feeling today. Any areas that need perhaps a little care or attention as we work. Remembering to make any modifications that you might need. The instructions are only guidance. You can rest at any point if you need to. Now turn your awareness to your breathing. And if you'd like to, you can rest your hands over your abdomen, or you can rest one hand there and one hand at your chest. We'll leave them on the floor if you prefer. Allowing your breath to remain in its natural rhythm. Just be aware of the gentle rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. And once you've become aware of the natural movement of the breath, you can increase your breath, so deepening the breath, allowing the hands, if they're resting there, to rise with the breath in and fall with the breath out, maybe gently engaging across your navel to aid a little extra exhalation. Breathe deeply into the whole of the rib cage. Feel the ribs separating, the chest lifting, the ribs pressing down into the mat behind you as you inhale. And then as you exhale, allowing the belly to relax, the ribs to relax, the hands to drift back down again. Keep breathing in this way. Gentle rise and fall of the hands with your breath. Francis, if you can make sure that you're muted, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And then join us on your mat as well. We're just lying on our backs and breathing deeply, allowing our hands to rise and fall on the belly with the breath. And when you've established a really nice, long, deep breath, perhaps you want to rest your arms back to the ground and see if you can still feel that sense of connection between the hands and the belly, or the hands and the body, wherever it might have been. almost sensing their presence, and continuing that deeper breathing, seeing if your shoulders and face and jaw can also be relaxed as you breathe. And then at the end of your next exhalation, allowing your breath to find a natural rhythm, which might be a little bit deeper than it was at the start. And then gently rolling your head from one side to the other, just a little wave of the nose from side to side. Letting the weight of the head be supported by the floor. Perhaps getting a little bit more movement after a few twists and turns. Releasing any tension from the back of the neck, the back of the shoulders. And when you're ready, you can bring your head back to center again. We're going to start by drawing the knees into the chest one at a time, holding them towards us. And with your knees a comfortable distance apart for you, just making circles with the knees. And as you do that, massaging out that space in the low back. Maybe wringing a little tension out of the back of the body as well. Let's reverse that motion, go in the opposite direction. And then resting your knees in the center and your arms out to the side or down to the floor. Take your knees and place them more towards your hips. Feel your abdominal muscles switch on as you do that, and press your low back towards the mat. Not super firmly, but just an intention in that direction. And then moving the knees with your muscles instead of with your hands. And knees apart is a little bit more restful for your pelvis generally, but if you find it more comfortable with them together, then you can absolutely do that. Going in the opposite direction as well, being aware of just enough effort in the abdominal muscles for stability and in the back of the body to provide that contact with the low back particularly. Of course, you'll rock from one hip to the other, but the intention is of the low back to be downward. Then coming to center, and we're going to take the knees in opposite directions. So extending one leg and then the other, knees circling in opposite directions. Again, that intention to keep the low back pressed gently towards the mat and active in the belly muscles. The lower your legs come towards the floor, the more challenging it is for your hip flexors and lower abdominal muscles, the transverse abdominis. But you need to feel comfortable doing that with those belly muscles and the low back towards the mat. Whichever direction you're going in, go the opposite way as well. And extending through your heels a little bit in your straighter leg position. Letting the upper body be nice and relaxed and heavy, so you don't feel tension across the hands or the shoulders or the chest. And then gathering your knees into your center, hug them towards you. And press the low back down as you hug the knees down. Once you've hugged your knees in as tight as you can, try taking your tailbone down to the floor. Just a little resistance against the hands pulling the knees in. Do it a couple of times. Press the tailbone towards the floor and release. Press the tailbone towards the floor and release. Then we're going to release the knees. Take the left foot down and extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. It doesn't have to be straight. Keep a soft bend in the knee if you like to, and just rolling your foot at the ankle a few times in this direction and a few times the opposite way as well. And then with the arms resting wherever is comfortable, extending through that heel, firming the belly, lengthening that leg all the way down to the mat as the heel comes to the floor, sliding this foot in and extending the left leg up towards the ceiling, rotating the foot at the ankle, soften the knee if that feels good to you. A few times this way and then reversing that direction. And then with your foot in the center, extending through your heel and lowering your legs slowly down, firm in the belly muscles till your heel hits the floor and drawing your knee back into your chest. Not into your chest, your foot back into the center. Feet nice and wide, arms relaxed out to the side, a little firmness in the belly muscles, and gently begin swaying the knees from side to side. And as you sway, perhaps that movement becomes a little deeper or a little more expressive. It doesn't have to, but maybe it does. And as it becomes a greater movement, perhaps a slower movement as well. Still a little firmness across the belly. The next time your knees come to your left side, just let them rest down there and observe how that feels, if there's space across your right hip or down the right side of your body. If there's any twinges in the hips or the knees, taking note of that. In our practice, we'll be using the hips and the legs a lot. So just note if there's any area that needs a little bit of extra care. And then firming the belly, bringing the knees back to the center and over to the opposite side, just resting them momentarily on the right. Noticing how the left side of the body, particularly from the rib cage across the hip, feels. Maybe you sense space there, maybe it's a little tight there. Making sure your knees and hips feel okay too. A little firmness in the belly, bringing the knees back to the center. And here in the center, we're going to leave the feet where they are, knees where they are, quite neutral. Cross the left arm over the right arm to drape the fingers towards the floor. Feel that automatically lengthen the back of the neck. And with your arms heavy on your chest, just gently wave the nose from side to side. Now, if you want to here, when you bring your head back to center, you can take eagle arms. So bringing the palms of the hands or the backs of the hands towards each other, or you can simply let your hands rest down to the floor. So whichever of those is more comfortable to you. And wherever you are, we're going to press the low back down into the mat. So almost like you're tucking your tailbone under, firm the belly muscles, draw your head and chest up so that your elbows are up in front of the body, and just making little circles around the upper back. Circles with the elbows above the body. And here we're trying to activate and energize our belly muscles. So we're going to go the opposite way as well, while stabilizing in the feet and the hips and the pelvis. Coming to center, releasing your head down, releasing the fingers if they've been together, or the hands if they've been together, and then just separating the arms, reaching the arms wide from the body, a little turn of the head all the way one way, and then all the way the other. Maybe once or twice. Then in the center, crossing the right arm over the left arm, draping the fingertips to begin with. Perhaps that's enough. Just drape the fingertips, let the arms be heavy across the body. A little wave of the nose from side to side. Make sure that there's no tension in the back of the neck there. And then if you want to, you can take eagle pose arms. Press the low back down, firm the belly, draw the head and shoulders up, and circle the elbows, or circle the whole body, but as if you were drawing a circle with the elbows. Just feeling that massaging effect through the center of the upper back, Going the opposite way as well. When you're ready, coming back to center, releasing the head and shoulders down, releasing the arms, and then taking the arms nice and wide. As the arms relax to the floor, rolling your head all the way from one side to the other. And then in the center, you can draw your elbows down to the sides of the body, roll the shoulders into the floor, the backs of the arms, the elbows pressing down. Feel that lift between the shoulder blades, so the opposite movement to the one that you've just done. Relax the back of the head, maybe even press it gently down, and then firming the feet into the floor, lifting through the buttocks to lift the hips up towards the ceiling and gently lower down. Keep the upper body very active, lifting and lowering the hips, but keeping the elbows, the shoulders, and the back of the head in contact with the floor. If it helps, you can think of drawing your chest towards your chin instead of your hips up to the ceiling. Feeling the back of the body, the buttocks, the lower back area, the backs of the legs firing to support. This time when you come up, hula hooping your hips just a little bit with the support of the upper body, going the opposite way as well. Just feeling that fluidity of movement, strength and support from the back of the body. Coming to center, releasing all the way down. Relaxing the arms for a moment, drawing the knees into the chest, and just rolling backwards and forwards through the length of the spine, sit bones to shoulder blades. Chin perhaps just a touch tucked in. And you're building up some momentum because we're going to roll into standing, or if you prefer, into sitting and then into standing. Just whenever you're ready. Popping up, and here we go. So apologies to those of you who arrived just before we started, but I want to tell you now that your camera needs, or your screen needs to be set up on the left-hand side of your mat. Yes, left-hand side of your mat and sideways on to the screen, so that you'll be able to follow the sequence that we do. So if you need to make any adjustments, making them now, and we will just do a little bit of shoulder movement while we wait. So taking the feet nice and wide apart, a little softness in the knees. You can bounce into your feet a little bit so you get that sense of connection. And then we'll start with the left arm first, a little softness in the elbow, making some shoulder circles with that left elbow. And once you feel the movement of the arm, connecting into the body, perhaps moving more with the rest of your body. Feel your feet really strong and stable into the floor. Feel like you can open your chest and open the back of the body as you move with your left arm. Maybe even feel the sides of the body, the hips joining in. We'll do one more in this direction. And then we'll go the opposite way. So just coming forwards with that arm, feeling that length across the back of the shoulder as you draw the arm forward, length across the chest as you draw the arm backwards rather. If you want to, you can follow the movement with your head. If not, just allow your neck to move quite naturally with the movement. You don't need to get yourself all dizzy. Nice and firm in the feet. And we'll do one more in this direction. And resting down. Feel the difference between the two sides of the body. It's quite a big difference, hopefully. And then we'll do the same on the other side. So nice and soft in the right elbow and arm, beginning with some simple movements of the shoulder. Whenever you feel ready, a little firmness in your center to move into those bigger, more expressive movements. The whole body joining in. And this is where I think of that song, the finger bone's connected to the hand bone bone's connected to the arm bone. But there we are. That's the sort of connection that we're working with in this class. One more in this direction. And then the opposite way. So if you can start small. And when you're ready, you can make that bigger movement. Feel that real opening across the back of the body as you draw the arm forwards, and then opening across your chest as you draw the arm backwards. Firm in your center, firm in your feet. Allow the body to respond to the movement. And we'll do one more in this direction. To finish with the arms nice and relaxed, the shoulders really energized. Maybe you feel that sensation of wow energy through your body as well, which is lovely. And then we will come to the front of the mat. I'm going to still stand facing onto you just for this first part. So we're going to do the standing salute that we've been working with. We're just adding things to it. So it's standing in Tadasana with your feet spreading, your toes spreading rather. So if you lift your toes up and spread them all the way as far as they can apart from each other, and then press your big toes down, and then let the other toes come as individually as possible to the mat. And then here we want to have that sense of length rather than gripping, and feel what's in contact with the mat. So you've got the pads of each toe, the ball of the foot, maybe the outside edge of the foot a little bit, and the heel. And in the center of the foot, maybe a touch of lightness on the instep, which is where the foot isn't touching the floor, that sensation of air just caressing that part of the foot. So where we have contact, the energy is down, it's grounding, it's connecting. And where we have that sensation of air, we've got lightness and lift. And that's the dynamic of energy across the foot. So thinking of that sense of connection, magnetism, grounding where the foot is connected, and the lift that comes from the center of the foot all the way up through the body to the crown of the head. And it lifts things on the way. So you're lifting your knees towards your hips by engaging your quadriceps, gentle lift in the pelvic floor, the belly muscles, the buttocks, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other to open the chest, relaxing the shoulders down, but lengthening through the back of the body into the crown of the head. Turn the palms forwards. And just take a moment in Tadasana, mountain pose, either with the eyes closed or gazing gently downward, to feel that strong sense of connection to earth and sky, below and above. Feel how active this pose is, even though it looks as if nothing's happening to the external observer. And this is how you know it is true yoga, when it looks effortless and graceful. From here, we're going to breathe in and breathe out, bringing the palms together at the center of the chest. Breathe in, reach the arms out and up as you look up, the cleansing breath, drawing the palms down as you breathe out. Center of the chest. Let's do one more of those. Breathing in, reaching out and up, lifting the belly. Breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Yeah. Breathe in and reach the arms up. And as you exhale, separate the hands and drop your shoulders down. Your head can be quite neutral. And then breathe in as you reach over to your right side. Breathing out back to your center. Imagine you're carrying a big beach ball over your head. Breathing in over to the left side. Breathing out back to the center. Let's do one more to each side. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now twisting. As you breathe in, reach the right arm backwards, the left arm forwards, twisting to the right. Breathing out back to the center, firm in the belly. Breathing in, twisting to your left, left arm backwards, right arm forwards. Breathing out back to the center. One more time each way. Breathing in, twisting to the right. Breathing out back to your beach ball hold. Breathing in, twisting to the left. Breathing out back to your beach ball hold. And then we're going to breathe in, reaching up. And breathing out, bringing the hands together at the center of the chest. Okay, so I'm going to turn this way. Hopefully you're standing at the end of your mat so that you can step back with your left foot. And we will do that again, just one twist and one side bend, and then we'll come into a forward bend at the end of that. So again, with your feet nice in Tadasana alignment, hopefully you haven't moved, so they're still feeling stuck to the floor. Turning your palms forward, breathing in Tadasana, feeling that lift. Breathing out, palms together, center of the chest. One cleansing breath. Breathe in, reach out and up, lift your chest, look up. And breathing out, hands together, center of the chest. Breathing in, reach straight up. And as you breathe out, separate your hands and drop your shoulders down. They can be as wide as you like. Breathe in as you lengthen over to your right side. You can drop your hips a little to the left. Breathing out back to the center. Breathing in over to the left. And breathing out back to the center. Now twisting to the right. Breathing in as you twist to the right. Breathing out back to the center. Breathing in as you twist to the left. Soften knees if you need to. Breathing out back to the center. Breathe in, open your chest and look up, firm belly, firm buttocks. And as you breathe out, let your hands come to your side, down to your sides, hinge forward from your hips into a forward bend. Oh, I muddled all the words on the way down there. So when you come into a forward bend, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. Do not strain your back to be in a forward bend. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And here we can just paddle through the backs of the legs. So a little bit like walking your downward dog. Just paddling the backs of the legs, letting the crown of the head be nice and heavy towards the floor. And if you can't touch the floor easily, just holding elbow to elbow. If it's comfortable, you might want to sway your upper body from side to side a little bit, or sway from the hips. You can do that touching the floor as well. And then here, we're going to come to the center, and you can place your hands on your thighs or your shins. Lengthen your arms and your legs. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other to open your chest. Lengthen through the crown of the head. Scoop the belly in. Breathe in here. And breathe out, fold over your legs again. Fold into a deeper forward bend, softening the knees if you need to. Let's do one more, upward lift. Lengthen arms and legs, breathe in, scoop the belly in, and breathe out, folding over your legs. And then here we're going to come up to standing. So bend the knees deeply. Let the weight of the buttocks drop into the heels, round through the spine, like someone's drawing you up with a string coming out of the back of your heart. And as you come up to standing, if you're dizzy, hands straight to the center of the heart. If you're not dizzy, reach your arms out and up, looking up, breathing in and breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Very good. Release your hands, adjusting clothing as needed, palms turning forward as you breathe in Tadasana. Breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. We'll add a chair pose this time. We're going to do cleansing breath first. Breathing in, arms out and up, firm belly, firm buttocks. Breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. Breathing in, hands go straight up. And as you breathe out, separate your hands, drop your shoulders down. Breathe in, bend to your right side. Firm belly and buttocks. Breathe out, back to the center. Breathe in as you bend to your left side. Breathe out back to the center. Twisting this time. Breathing in, twist to the right, soften knees if you need to. Breathe out back to your beach ball hold. Breathe in, twist to the left. Breathing out back to the center. Breathe in, open your chest, firm belly and buttocks as you breathe out, fold forward from your hips. Arms go wide, hands to the feet, head towards the knees. Hands onto the shins or thighs, breathe in, lift halfway. And breathe out, folding deeper down. This time we're going to bend the knees now. So bending the knees deeply, let the buttocks come down towards the heels a little. And as you breathe in, reach your arms forward and lift your chest, and you're in a chair pose, Utkatasana. We're just going to hold for a deep breath in and a deep breath out here. And then take your weight onto your right foot, come onto the toes of your left foot, and replace your left heel, come onto the left foot, come onto the toes of the right foot. So just moving from side to side, lifting the left heel, and then lifting the right heel. One more time to each side, keeping that space between the shoulder blades very active, the buttock and the belly is very active, belly and the buttocks even. In the center, folding all the way over your legs into a deep forward bend. Hands onto the shins or the thighs for an upward lift. Draw the shoulder blades together, lift the belly, lengthen arms, legs, and through the crown of the head. Breathe in here. Breathe out as you fold deeper down. And then bending the knees deeply to roll up. Breathing in. Reaching the arms over the head if it feels comfortable, and breathing out, hands together at the center of the chest. Breathing in, stand tall in Tadasana. We're going to add a twisted dancer and a warrior three. Breathing out, hands together at the center of the chest. One cleansing breath. Breathing in. And breathing out, hands together at the center of the chest. Breathing in, reach straight up. As you breathe out, separate your hands, drop your shoulders down. Breathe in, bend to the right. Breathe out, back to the center. Breathe in, bend to the left. Breathe out, back to the center. Twisting now, breathing in, twist to the right, soften your knees if you need to. Breathe out, back to the center. Breathe in, twist to the left. Breathe out, back to the center. Breathe in, open your chest. Breathe out as you fold forward from your hips, long in the spine, long in the legs if you can, into your forward bend. Breathing out here. Hands on shins or thighs, breathing in, halfway lift, scoop the belly in, shoulders towards each other, and breathing out and down. Bend your knees deeply, breathe in, sit into chair pose. Breathe out here. We're going to take the weight onto the right leg first, lifting the left knee and drawing the right elbow towards the left knee as you stand in twisted dancer. And then from here, don't worry too much about your breathing. We're going to lengthen the left leg behind us and reach the arms wide or over your head if you've given yourself enough room, which I have not. Warrior three. And then from warrior three, we're going to come back to twisted dancer, moving in a way that feels good to you. Smashing stuff. And then from twisted dancer into chair pose. And from chair pose into a forward bend, so folding over your legs. Hands on shins or thighs for an upward lift. You can breathe in here. And breathe out as you fold over your legs, softening the knees, bend the knees deeply, come into chair pose again, breathing in. Breathing out in chair. We're going to take our weight onto our left leg to lift the right knee towards the left elbow, twisted dancer. And then from here, staying on that left leg, extending the right leg behind you, coming into warrior three, arms wide or over your head. Feel the firmness in your buttock, working to support your leg here. And then coming back to twisted dancer, doing it any way that feels good, wobbling or touching down if you need to. And from twisted dancer into chair pose. And from chair pose, folding over your legs into a forward bend. We're going to take a halfway lift, breathing in. And breathing out as you fold. Then bending the knees deeply, rolling up to standing. As you breathe in, reach the arms up over the head, firm belly and buttocks. Breathing out, hands to the center of the chest. And you can always skip that bit if you're dizzy. We'll do that one again, just as we did it just now, for cementing it into our minds. So breathing in, standing tall in Tadasana with the palms facing forwards. Breathing out, palms together, center of the chest. Breathing in, one cleansing breath, reaching the arms out and up, looking up. Breathing out, palms together, center of the chest. Breathing in, reach straight up. Separate the hands, drop the shoulders as you breathe out. Breathing in, leaning over to your right side, firm belly and buttocks. Breathing out, back to the center. Breathing in, leaning over to the left. And breathing out, back to the center. Now twisting. Breathing in, twisting to the right. Breathing out, back to the center. Breathing in, twisting to the left. Breathing out, twisting back to center. Breathing in, opening your chest as you look up. As you breathe out, fold forward from the hips. Swallow diving towards the legs. When you get down, soften the knees. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathing out, folding over your legs again. Bend your knees deeply. Breathing in into chair pose, reaching the arms forward. Breathing out as you hold. Same thing. Weight onto your right leg. Breathe in, come into twisted dancer, lifting the left knee towards the right elbow. Breathe out as you hold. Breathe in as you move into warrior three, really extending through your left heel. Breathe out as you hold. Breathe in as you move back to twisted dancer. Breathe out as you hold. Breathe into chair pose. Breathe out as you fold over your legs. Halfway lift, hands on shins or thighs. Inhaling, lift the belly, lengthening arms, legs and torso. Exhaling, folding over the legs. Inhaling into chair pose, reaching the arms forward. Exhaling as you hold, weight onto the left leg. Inhaling as you come into twisted dancer, left elbow to right knee. Exhale as you hold. Inhale into warrior three. Exhale as you hold. Inhale back to twisted dancer. Exhale as you hold. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale and fold over your legs. Halfway lift. Inhale, lengthening arms, legs and torso. Exhale, folding over the legs again. Bend the knees deeply, weight into your heels. Inhale, roll up. Hands to heart or reaching over the head. And exhale, palms together at the center of the chest. Just take a moment to rest here. Adjust clothing as needed. Shake out your legs if needed as well. If you're really happy and feeling firmly grounded here, stick with it, just stay there. So this time when we come into warrior three, we're going to step back and come into warrior two. And then from warrior two, we'll do a little bouncing warrior. And then we'll do a little forwards and backwards from extended side angle into retreating warrior. And then from there, we're going to move to the center of the mat. And we're going to do a bit in the middle where you'll have some options, and I'll talk you through it. But essentially, we're doing some surface squats and some goddess poses. And then we're going to traverse to the other end of the mat, do a waving vinyasa. Don't worry about it, I'll talk you through. And then we'll do it all from the other end of the mat to come back again, which is why we're set up this way. And if we've got time, we'll do it twice. Okay, so in Tadasana, turning the palms forward. Inhale as you lengthen here. Exhale, hands together at the center of the chest. One cleansing breath, inhaling out and up. Exhaling, palms down, firm belly and buttocks. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, separate hands, drop shoulders. Inhale, side bend to the right. Exhale, return to the center. Inhale, side bend to the left. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, twist to the left. Soft knees if needed. Exhale, return to center. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, fold forward from the hips all the way down. Hands on shins or thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, as you fold, bend your knees. Inhale into chair pose. Exhale as you hold. Weight onto the right leg. Inhale into twisted dancer, lifting the left knee. Exhale as you hold. Inhale into warrior three, arms wide or overhead. Exhale as you hold. Inhale as you step your left foot down, cartwheel your arms into warrior two. Exhale as you hold. And here, just let your breath go and check for a moment your alignment so you can relax your arms. You want your right toes to be pointing to the right, and when you bend your knee, that you should see your big toe, maybe your second toe as well. The leg that's behind you, you can either have it parallel to the outside edge of your leg, parallel to the short edge of the mat, or turn slightly in as mine is, so that your back hip rolls a little bit forwards, whatever feels more comfortable. We're going to reach the arms wide, palms up to begin with. Inhale, lengthening the front leg, that's the right leg, reaching the arms over the head. You're facing the long side of your mat. And as you exhale, draw the arms down to shoulder height, bend your front knee and look over your right hand. Inhale, lengthen the right leg, look to the center, look up as you raise the arms over the head. Exhale, bend your right leg, press into your left heel at the same time and reach the arms wide. One more time, inhaling up and then exhaling as you come down. Imagine someone's pulling your left arm so you don't travel forward over your legs. Here, we're going to leave the palms facing upwards and leave the legs where they are in place. Imagine that you're pressing the legs away from each other or drawing them towards each other, whichever feels more stable and secure to you. Firm belly and buttocks. Then we're going to drop the left hands down towards the left leg, reaching the right arm up. Inhaling here, and then exhaling as we leave the legs in place, bring the right forearm to the right thigh and reach the left arm over. Inhaling, press through the legs, firm belly and buttocks as we reach the right arm up, left arm down. And exhaling, just circling through the air to reach the left arm forward. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling, flowing between those two poses. When you come into extended side angle pose this time, really firming the left heel and outside edge of that foot, firming the left quadricep at the front of the thigh, and making sure both feet are really pressing down. You can choose, if you wish to free your right arm and reach it to the right as well. And if that feels comfortable, you don't feel too much strain, you can take your arms behind you, interlace your fingers, roll your shoulder blades together and lengthen your arms away from you, and maybe just gently turn your chest to look up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Free your arms from wherever they are and come back up to standing. Lengthen the right foot, turn in the right toes, so that both sets of toes are pointing straight forward to the long side of your mat. And then here, hands on hips if you prefer, or out to the side, breathing in as you open your chest, and as you breathe out, fold forward to halfway. So your chest is parallel with the floor, the back is parallel with the floor as well. You can reach the arms wide. We're going to bend the left leg, shifting weight to the left, and then press off the left leg and bend the right leg. So surface squat from side to side, just keeping the torso actively up. That space between the shoulder blades is working, and you're feeling the strength and the power in the legs as you go from side to side here. Imagine you're just trying to keep your torso under a table, but not really reaching for the floor. And then in the center, we're going to fold forward over the legs. Reaching the hands towards the floor, softening the knees if you need to. Take a moment here to rock your weight into your toes as your heels. So we tend to drop weight into the heels in this pose, rocking the weight forward a little bit more. Allow the crown of the head to come down towards the floor. If your hands don't touch the floor, hold elbow to elbow and feel that weight gently elongate the sides of the torso, softening the knees as needed, because we don't want any strain, no strain at all. And then from here, we're going to gently, so if you can't touch the floor, you want to bend your knees enough to do that, gently turn the heels in. So we've pivoted on the toes, bend the knees deeply, press the feet into the floor, and then stand into goddess pose. So the feet are quite wide, toes pointing outwards, knees bent, elbows bent as well. So we come into our cactus arms. And then here we're going to breathe in as we lengthen arms and legs, looking up, and breathe out back into our goddess pose. Now, if anyone wants to, they can add a little shout here, or a little huh. So if you want to, you can breathe in and reach, and breathe out, and bring the fists, the hands and fists down to your sides. But it might be a bit active for you at this time of night. If you prefer, you can just breathe in and spread, and breathe out, cactus arms. We'll do one more. Do whatever you like, breathing in and breathing out. We're going to settle ourselves in our goddess pose, reaching the arms wide. Take the right arm, over the left to hug the shoulders. Now, if you can take your arms into Garudasana arms, like we did earlier, eagle arms, back to the hands or palms together. And then with firm feet, circling the arms in the air twice in one direction, and then twice in the opposite direction. Very good. You can do this with your hands on your shoulders just as well. When you come to the center, hands to shoulders, relaxing the arms down. We're going to lengthen the legs, turn the right toes towards the left, turn the left toes towards the left. Just square the hips a little bit in that, in fact, let the hips fall where they may. That's just as well. We're going to reach the left arm up, wrap our right arm around the rib cage and just gently draw the ribs, so not the hips, but the ribs towards the long side of the mat. And then lengthen the left arm all the way to the left and see if it will come towards your leg somewhere. Doesn't need to go to the floor, towards your leg somewhere. Reach the other arm up, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Nice little firmness in the belly here. And from here, we're going to reach the right arm over as we twist our hips towards the back of the mat, placing one hand down and then the other, pivoting on the back toes and stepping your left foot back to your right foot in downward facing dog. So in your downward dog, might feel like a rest right now, having had all of that action and feet off the floor. You can wriggle through your down dog. Do a little turning of the head from side to side, maybe a wriggle through the shoulders. If you prefer, you can bend both knees and just wriggle the hips from side to side. Nice, whatever you choose. And then here we can do a waving vinyasa. The first one I'll demonstrate from the knees, and you can choose to do it from the knees if you would like to. So with hands and knees a little bit wider apart than they normally are, dropping the buttocks towards the heels, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, press off the toes, round the spine forwards as the shoulders come over the hands, opening the chest to look forwards, soft elbows, drawing the shoulder blades together, little firmness in the belly and buttocks, a supported up dog with the knees on the floor. And then pressing back up to hands and knees and dropping the buttocks back to the heels. Let's do one more like that. Pressing off the toes, rounding through the spine, opening the chest, soft elbows, firm in the hands, the knees, the buttocks, the belly, and then lifting back through hands and knees into a little crouching puppy pose. From here, we're going to come back into downward facing dog, which is how we would finish if we did our waving vinyasa from there, and walk our feet all the way to our hands,
So we're starting at the opposite end of the mat, bending the knees deeply, round through the spine to come up to standing. As you do, inhale, take the arms out and up over the head. Exhale the hands to the center of the chest. Take a moment to adjust clothing as needed. And also take a little breathing space between this and the next one. So we're going to do the same thing all over again, but we'll take the weight onto the left foot and step back with the right foot first. Okay? So coming into Tadasana alignment again, hopefully your feet feel super energized and really active for pressing down, finding that connection, turning the palms forward, firming the center of the body enough to feel support, lengthening to the crown of the head. Breathing in here. Breathing out, bringing the palms together at the center of the chest. One cleansing breath. Breathe in, reach the arms out and up. Breathing out, drawing the palms down again to the heart. Breathe in, reach the hands straight up. And as you breathe out, separate your hands and drop your shoulders down. Bending to the right first, breathing in, lengthen over to the right side. Breathing out, back to the center, firm belly and buttocks. Breathing in, over to the left. Breathing out, back to the center. Twisting now, breathing in, twisting to the right. Breathing out, twisting back to center. Breathing in, twisting to the left. Breathing out, twisting back to center. Breathe in, open your chest, firm your buttocks. As you breathe out, fold forward, lifting the belly as you hinge from the hips into your forward bend. Hands on shins or thighs. Inhaling, lifting halfway, and exhaling, folding. Chair pose now, bending the knees, inhaling into chair pose. Exhaling as you hold, take your weight onto the left foot. Inhale into twisted dancer, lifting the right knee to the left elbow. Exhaling as you hold. Inhale into warrior three. Exhale as you hold. And then inhale as you step the right foot down and just cartwheel the arms. Exhaling into warrior two. So here, relax your breath, let everything be natural. Just check as you look at your front foot that you can see the first, maybe the second toe with the knee bent over the foot there. And I have a completely different angle on this foot than I do when I'm on the other side because that's what suits this hip better. So more parallel in my case towards the end of the mat, or might be more turned in for you. With the legs in the good position, feel the buttocks switch on and that sort of sense of either drawing the feet towards each other or pressing them away from each other, whichever of those feels more secure. It helps you to maintain that position, feeling strong. Little firmness in the belly, reaching the arms out, palms turned up. We're going to inhale, lengthen the front leg, look up, facing the long side of the mat, and then exhale, bend the left knee, press into the right heel, and look over the left palm. Inhaling up and exhaling, warrior two. Imagine someone's pulling you backwards with your right hand. One more, inhaling and exhaling. From our warrior two position, very firm in the center, we're going to inhale, reach the right arm down and the left arm up, retreating warrior, and exhale into extended side angle pose, left forearm to left thigh, reaching the right arm over to the left. Inhaling, coming back into that retreating warrior, and exhaling, flowing forward into extended side angle pose. Firm in the belly and the buttocks, inhaling, firm in the feet, and exhaling. This time we're holding. So coming into the extended side angle pose, holding here as you breathe, not holding your breath. Feel the power in your legs and in your center. If you want to, you can extend your left arm to the left as well. If that feels quite easy, or if you just enjoy an extra challenge, interlace the fingers behind you the awkward way, roll the shoulder blades towards each other, lengthen through the arms, and just gently twist the chest, maybe looking up towards the ceiling, taking a deep breath in And a deep breath out, relaxing the arms. And from here, we're going to bring ourselves back up to center and turn the left foot in to point straight forward. So both feet are pointing straight forward if you need to adjust your right foot as well. Hands onto the hips or out to the sides. Inhale as you open your chest. Firm in the buttocks, exhale halfway down. So coming into a halfway fold, and here you can either reach for the floor if the floor is easy to reach, or if you prefer that with your knees a little soft, or you can reach the arms wide for an extra challenge, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, bending into the right leg, taking the weight a little bit to the right, and then pressing off and maybe lifting a little and bending into the left leg. So surface squat from side to side. If you want to coordinate this with your breath, you can, inhaling on one side and exhaling on the other. We're going to go from side to side just a couple more times, really feeling the stability of the feet, the action of the legs, the core muscles, particularly in the back of the body, very active. When you're ready, you can come to the center and we're going to fold over our bent legs. And this time, for anyone who has it in their practice, you can widen your feet and take the crown of your head to the floor. So if you don't have that in your practice, it's okay. You don't need to do it. You still do a normal forward bend. You can keep the knees a little soft. You still want to bring the weight forward into the toes a touch so that you can bring the crown of the head towards the floor. So it's pointing down in that direction. Maybe using the arms for a bit of support. Wherever you are, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then bending the knees enough to reach the floor, maybe lifting yourself ever so slightly, not quite halfway, but nearly. We're going to angle the feet in and the toes out. So if you've widened your stance, you might want to bring it a little narrower first. Pressing into the feet, bending the knees, dropping the weight into the heels, take the hands from the floor and come into your goddess pose. Draw your elbows back towards the space behind you, activating that space between the shoulder blades, opening the knees, activating the muscles on the outsides of the thighs and in the buttocks here. We're going to lengthen arms and legs, breathing in. Breathing out, coming into goddess pose. For anyone who wants to do the huh, you can. 2 more, breathing in, lengthening. Breathing out, goddess pose, goddess squat, opening, sinking lower if you can. Breathing in and breathing out. Then we're going to breathe in as we come up. Turn the left toes to point to the right. Turn the right toes to point to the right. Lift the right arm up into the air. So the hips fall wherever they may. Don't square them or do anything weird to them. Just let them be where they are. Reach the left arm around the body and draw the right side of the torso towards the long side of your mat, not your hips, the chest. And then reaching the right arm over the right leg, extending through both legs. Just let that hand come to wherever it may. Firm in the belly, reaching the left arm up, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, perhaps to open your chest in your Trikonasana pose. Let's take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, firm in the feet. And then turning the palms, come up to standing. That's not what we did last time. We did a different thing, but that's okay because we're going to transition this way. So we're going to come up onto the ball of the back foot, take the hands down to frame the right foot, and step the right foot back into downward facing dog. A little wriggle through the legs. And downward dog, because you've got your hands and your feet on the floor, can feel a little bit more restful after a lot of standing poses or balancing poses. So take note of that, particularly if it's not one of your favorite postures. When you're ready, 2 waving vinyasas of your choice. So knees down if you prefer, or if you want to do it from downward dog, just dropping hips to heels, pressing off the toes, rounding through the spine. As the shoulders come over the hands, softening the elbows, opening the chest, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Keep lifting the belly muscles and the buttocks, soften the knees. And then you can come back up through hands and knees or plank into your downward facing dog, or you can round through the spine as you choose. One more like that. Dropping buttocks to heels, pressing off the toes, rounding through the spine, opening the chest. And in this up dog, either knees down or not, just gently swaying your chest from side to side. A little shimmer in the upper body. Feel the belly muscles active, the back of the body as well. And then from here, bending the knees, round through the spine, back into down facing dog. Now this time, we're going to come forward, but we're going to lie on our bellies when we do. So rounding through the spine, dropping buttocks to heels, coming all the way forwards, and then just dropping your hips down, pointing your toes, and allowing the rest of the body to fold gently towards the mat, resting the head on the back of the hands. And as you come into this position, toes falling towards each other, but the feet don't touch, heels apart. Take a couple of moments here to let your breath settle and to allow your spine and your body to find this new shape against the floor. When you're ready, you can gently rock the hips from side to side and just feel that nestling the front of the pelvis into the mat, maybe a sort of massaging effect across the front of the thighs, the quadriceps. When you're ready, you can bring your body back to center. We're going to move the legs towards each other. They don't have to touch, but we don't want them wider than the hips. Pointing the toes backwards, they don't have to be super pointed, but just allowing them to fall that way. Press the tops of the feet gently down, press the pubic bone gently down. Feel that engage the belly muscles and activate the buttocks as well. Take your hands wider than your mat. If you've got a very wide mat, it might be just to the edge of your mat. Forehead to the floor, roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Feel that you've already lifted the chest by doing that, and then just float your head off the floor. So very active in the low body, but if you wanted to here, you could take your hands off the mat and it wouldn't affect how high you were. So there's no weight in the hands really. We're going to go up and down to this position. So as you exhale, come down, firm in the buttocks and the belly, inhaling up to that floaty position, exhaling down. One more, inhaling up, shoulder blades working together, and exhaling down. Now this time, if you want to, you can press into the hands a little. So activate the hands down into the mat, activate the tops of the feet down, firm buttocks and belly, inhaling up to that floaty position, and then just press into the hands a little to give you a little bit more lift. We don't want straight arms, we don't want shoulders shrugged up towards the ears either. So shoulders back, elbows soft, exhaling down. Inhaling up, cobra pose, but with wide arms, exhaling down. One more, inhaling up. And exhaling down. And then taking the hands onto the mat, either side of the chest, just pressing up to hands and knees. We're going to widen the knees, bring the toes towards each other, and let the hips come down towards the buttocks. No, hips come down towards the heels, forehead towards the mat. If your forehead doesn't naturally come to your mat, with your knees wide, just fold your arms and rest your head on the back of your forearms. Wherever you are, taking a couple of deep breaths. And if you've got anything to release, you can exhale through your mouth. And then once you've released, just allowing your posture to soften, perhaps the elbows to be softer, the fingers to be softer, the forehead to be carried by whatever it's supported by. A slight sense of open across the groin. A softness in the belly and the buttocks.
When you're ready, you can press into your hands and lift your chest a little, sliding the right arm underneath the left arm, and then taking the right side of the head and shoulder to the floor, relaxing the left arm as well. Take a couple of deep breaths here, just feeling that space between the shoulder blades lengthen. Relaxing your face, maybe smiling if you find that difficult. When you're ready to come out, tenting the fingertips of the left hand to create a bit of space, press into the left arm to lift back to center. Tent the fingertips of the right arm and then slide the left hand between the right hand and knee. Take the left shoulder, left side of the head to the floor. Soften the right elbow down. Take a couple of deep breaths in this thread needle position of variation of child's pose. Soften face, forehead, jaw, belly muscles and buttocks. And when you're ready, tenting the fingertips of the right hand, giving a little bit of lift so you can come back to the center. And then with your hands reaching forwards, just pressing off the knees to come into hands and knees again, drawing the knees a little bit more centrally underneath the body. And then here, if you want to, you can simply sit back on your knees and kneel. And if you prefer, you can try a little child's pose over the knees, a touch closer together. It's a different feeling for the back. If your forehead comes to the floor, that's great. If not, support it on the back of the hands. And if child's pose across the knees is just a little bit constrictive or uncomfortable, then kneeling up and simply resting in this upright kneeling position. Whatever you choose, taking a couple of deep breaths. And then those who are in child's pose can pad their hands back towards them. And those who are kneeling can simply open their eyes if they've been closed. Maybe they haven't, that's okay too. And we're preparing now to move onto our backs again, and we'll be doing relaxation from there. But if you've got the option to do legs up the wall, you might choose to spend some time with your legs up the wall. I'm going to demonstrate a supported bridge. But if you know that you would prefer to do legs up the wall in that time, you can. Right now, taking a blanket, making it handy, and a brick or a sturdy book. If you're doing legs up the wall, there's no harm in putting your buttocks up on something as well. So when you're ready, coming down onto your back. If you're doing the relaxation or the winding down postures of your choice, then that's fine. I'll leave you to it. There will be no further instructions there. But if you're doing relaxation postures with me, then that's great. Just have your brick somewhere handy. Arms can relax out to the sides. Excuse me. Feet nice and wide and just gently swaying the knees from side to side. Enough support with your belly muscles just to control that movement. The next time your knees come down to your left side, you can leave them on the left and reach the right arm past the right side of the ear. Relaxing the right arm and shoulder down into the mat. And in this position, you might feel that you can encourage the inner right foot and thigh down towards the mat. And if that feels comfortable, you might rest your left foot on top of your right leg. Whichever position you feel is the most comfortable, holding that as you soften your face and chest. for a deep breath in, a deep breath out, and we'll repeat that one more time. A deep breath in and a deep breath out. To come back to center, uncross any crossed legs, arms back to your side, firm in the belly to bring the knees back upright, and just gently swaying the knees from side to side. And then from the center, knees over to the right, extending the left arm past the left side of the head, softening the left shoulder and arm into the floor. Maybe you can encourage the inner left foot and thigh towards the mat. And if that feels comfortable, it's not too stretchy or twisty on the knees, resting the right foot on top of the left thigh. Wherever you get to, taking 2 long, deep breaths, softening the face, the belly, the shoulders. To move, uncross your legs if they've been crossed, release your left arm to the left, firm the belly, bring the knees back to center. Just do a little sway from side to side. Oh, excuse me. And then bringing your feet a little bit closer towards your buttocks, grabbing your block, lifting your hips up and sliding your block, if you can, on the medium setting underneath your sacrum. So the sacrum's immediately behind these bony bits in your hips at the front. You can just run your hands behind and find the block supporting you at the center of your low back, where your spine joins your pelvis. Not into any of the fleshy parts above or below there, if possible. Start with your arms just relaxing out to the sides and see if this is comfortable. If this is feeling too open, then you can take yourself down to the lower setting of the block. If you feel comfortable here, you might extend your feet a little bit further away from you, still with the knees bent, still with the feet on the floor, just to find that extra sense of suspension in the backs of the legs and weight into the block behind the pelvis. If that feels comfortable, you might try extending your arms over your head, maybe out to the side rather than directly over, as you choose. If this feels comfortable, you can try extending your legs to be long along the mat, a little bit wide, wider than the width of your body. And take a couple of deep breaths. You can, of course, go back to any of the previous positions as you need to, whatever is most comfortable. In yin yoga, this is a yin posture, we want to be as soft as possible in the body. So we don't want to hold a posture that it requires tension or effort, or where you feel like you're holding slightly to prevent yourself from relaxing more deeply. Whenever you're ready, if your arms are over your head, you can bring them back down to your side. And then turn the toes to point upwards and slide the feet in one at a time. And then here, just taking a moment to settle in this sort of more contained position before lifting the hips only enough to turn your block onto the lower setting. So if you were on the low setting already, don't worry, we're just going to do that all again on the lower setting of the block. So here on the lower setting of the block, trying with the arms over the head, seeing if that feels more comfortable down here. Trying extending the legs long wide and letting the toes fall out to the side. And that might feel better with the arms down by the side than over the head. Do whatever feels good to you. I apologize, I've got a bit of a dry throat. It's 2 back-to-back classes. Lots of talking, which I'm going to stop doing now so we can relax here for some long, deep breaths. When you're ready to move, if you have your legs up the wall joining us again now, you can turn your toes upwards, bring the arms down by the sides, slide the heels in one at a time. Just spend a moment here in this more neutral position, slightly more contained, and then as subtly as you can, lifting your hips just enough to get the block out from underneath them and allowing the hips to rest straight down to the mat. And often that is the best my low back feels in a day when I release from this, and it's such a delicious feeling. Hopefully you're feeling similarly softened and released. So applying the blanket if you're going to use one. You can use, of course, something underneath the backs of the knees for relaxation. Coming into the posture of your choice. Feet wide with the toes falling out to the side, arms wide with the palms turned upwards. If you really find that quite uncomfortable for your shoulders, play around with the position of the arms a little bit, or you can fold the arms over the belly, bending at the elbows, supported on the floor. Whenever you find a comfortable position, fidget as much as you need to right now. And then try turning your head from one side to the other, just a couple of times in each direction. When you're ready to bring the head back to the center, make any last adjustments. And then bring your body to stillness. Take a deep breath in and sigh out through your mouth. Repeat 3 more times. A deep breath in, and then let all of your effort go as you exhale. A deep breath in. Let your muscles begin to relax. Deep breath in. Surrender your weight, your body, down into the mat. Allow your breath to fall into its natural, spontaneous rhythm and fall into quietness. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften. The space between your eyebrows spreading. The area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw releasing. Move your awareness to the back of your body. Become aware of all of the parts of the back of the body that have contact with the mat or the floor. The back of the head, the backs of the shoulders, shoulder blades, arms, hands, parts of the back, the buttocks, the calves, the heels of the feet. Experience the sensation of contact between your body and the floor. Move your awareness to all of the parts of the back of the body that are not in contact with the floor. The back of the neck, the wrists, fingers, perhaps your low back, the backs of the knees, the Achilles, and the soles of the feet. Experience the sensation of space between your body and the floor. Allow the whole of the back of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Move your awareness to the front of your body. Become aware of the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face. The movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands. Move your awareness to your breathing and gently deepen your breath. Inhaling peace. Exhaling love. Inhaling peace. Exhaling love. Continue to breathe deeply, mentally repeating the word peace as you inhale and love as you exhale. Relaxing deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your hands and your feet by moving your fingers and toes. When you feel ready, take a long, deep breath in, stretching the arms and the legs and the body in any way. Stretching your face in a yawn, maybe rolling your wrists and your ankles if you want to. In your own time, gather your knees in. Just hug them towards you for a moment. And make any movements that feel good on your back, on your spine. Whenever you're ready, rolling onto one side, just spending a moment on your side. And in your own time, coming into any comfortable seated position, resting your hands over your heart. So throughout this class, we've focused, maybe unconsciously at times, on the connection between our feet and the floor and our breath and our movement. Now I'd like you to think of something that you enjoy connecting with, whether it's a piece of art or music or a book, a pet, a place, a person. Bring that thing into your mind. Notice whether it brings you joy. And I hope that it does. I hope that joy can shine and bubble forth onto your face so that you have a little smile to end your class and blink your eyes open. Namaste, guys. Thank you so much for joining yoga this term, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed my opportunity to connect with you guys and to share this space and energy and love. And I look forward to seeing you after our break. Namaste.